So Oracle SCM actually goes beyond your traditional human resource task like your balancing people or technology. So it is like more of a product. Then in Oracle SCM, we have Oracle middleware also. So we have a different tools like Authorization Policy Manager or Oracle Identity Manager, which is actually responsible for all your password related activities, all your credentials. So we have a different middleware tools. We have a front UI, which is Oracle SCM, and the third layer is your Oracle database. So you can say that the entire thing is actually a three-level thing. So the first part will be your client level, which is your Oracle SCM, which you are able to see. And after that, we have middleware components also, which is running behind the scene. And the third level is your Oracle database. So where all your transactions and all your data are getting stored. So it incorporates advanced technologies, tight integrations, and best HR practices. Oracle SIM is built to help organizations to know its people better, work as a team, and do the things as you want them to be done. And what is the best feature of Oracle SIM is that you can either go with a one module or you can go with an entire application. And if you go with a one module, the other modules can be on a different ERPs. So it is like there can be a coexistence. Suppose that core HR is on your PeopleSoft and maybe benefits or payroll you are implementing on your Oracle SCM. So it is like a lot of combinations can happen. Some of the features of Oracle SCM is that it is user centric, it is global. So it is a global system. So means a single system, a single implementation can help you. Either you are in a US or either you are in a India. A single implementation can take care of all the legislation, all the countries. It is extensible. If I say extensible, it is not as much as extensible or customizable as we have PeopleSoft or eBusiness Suite. But yeah, we can do certain part of customizations or we can do certain extensions. But as a cloud product, we have a restrictions on many of the activity. And after that, it is information led, and there we have a lot of collaborations can also be done. So we have a place where like a Facebook where a person can go and add other person, can post messages and can do all those activities.
Can you go a little more detail on the user centric?
Okay, so what is if what are a lot of if you see the application, so you will see that the pages which is there or the if once I log into the application, you will see that the pages are more user friendly. PeopleSoft, if you see the screen are more sort of a blank or it is not that much interesting. But if you see the Oracle SCM, you will see that it is like you will have a feel of a system. It is like a lot of animations are there, a lot of logo, a lot of you can change the logo, you can change a lot of preferences, and the screen is not that much boring. So you will feel that. Moving to the second slide. So we have a different models in Oracle SCM. So either a client can go and only do a core HR, or if a team they can only opt for payroll, or they can only opt for payroll interface if they want the payroll data to be taken care in some other system. So the different modules can be either core HR, payroll interface, benefits. Then you have this workforce lifecycle manager. So these are the modules which are related to your core SCM. We actually call these modules as a group and we call them as a workforce deployment. Then we have a modules which are very much related to talent and we call these modules as a workforce development. So it can be either your performance management, it can be either your goal management or talent review, or they can be some part of compensations or individual compensation. So all these comes under your workforce uh, development. And after that, you also have a BI, Oracle Business Intelligence, which is actually responsible for taking reports or extracting the data out of system. Now coming to this SaaS and what is public cloud, what is private cloud, and what are the different options we have to host Oracle SCM. So as discussed, Oracle SCM is a cloud product. So there are generally two ways by which we can host or we can actually do the implementation. One can be on cloud. Cloud can be again either a public cloud or a private cloud. And other will be your on-premise installations. So if you go and see 99% of our client will be on cloud. The main reason to opt for Oracle SCM is because it is a cloud and it saves a lot of money to a client. If they go and have the on-premise installation, it will include a lot of cost, which includes your infrastructure. Then again, you will need to have a separate team for database. Again, you will need to have a separate team for application maintenance, upgrade, patching. A lot of things has to be there. Now, coming to cloud. In cloud, again, there are two options. One is public cloud, one is private cloud. So what happens in case of public cloud, a same instance of cloud is actually shared by multiple clients. So maybe you can see that client A, client B, client C, all of their Fusion application is hosted on a single cloud server, and which is generally in a 90% of case. Again, we also have a concept of private cloud. So what happens in a case of private cloud, one cloud server will host only one client, and it can be either your Oracle cloud or it can be a Amazon cloud, it can be anything depending upon the client or a vendor. And the cloud entirely, whether it is a public cloud or a private cloud, it is actually called as a software as a service. So in that case, what customer has to do, the customer has to take the licenses, and Oracle is actually responsible for all those patching, upgrade, and everything. Customer will has to do only transactions and is only responsible for doing the activities or doing the day-to-day transaction. But when we come as an on-premise, the customer is responsible to do each and every activity, whether it is installation, upgrade, patching, or doing a day-to-day transactions. So customer has to do each and everything. So now, as we have already discussed on extensions or customizations, again we have a separate session on this. So meanwhile, what I will cover is that what are the different ways why we can do a customization or we can extend our product. So one is flex field. So all the folks who have worked in e-business suites are already aware about flex fields. So we have a flex field concept in SCM also. So we can have a DFF, we can have extensible flex field. All those things are there. So which will actually allow you to store extra information, which is not by default available in the system. Then after that, we have a page composer. Page composer is actually responsible to customize a page. So whether you want to hide a field, whether you want to rename a field, whether you want to hide a field for a certain roles or a certain group of people, though all those activity we can do on a page composer. Then we have a process composer. Process composer is actually responsible for creating your different workflows for approval and notification. And then we have a report composer. The report composer is a place where we will work. So we have this BI publisher tool attached with your Oracle SCM. So we will use that tool to create a report out of system. So report can be either created in two ways. So either you can create a report by using OTBI, Oracle Transactional Business Intelligence. So in that case, we have a subject area, you will drag and drop the field and you will create a report. So that is very much user friendly, and a in person can also do that. And the another one is SQL. So we have a data model. So we'll create a data model. We'll write a SQL there. And after that, we will attach some RTF templates or some etext template. And we'll take a report out of system. And another way is also which is SCM extract. So SCM extract is something which we'll discuss in our technical sessions. So the same thing which we have discussed is written in this slide. So I will hold for a minute and you can go through them. Meanwhile, I will answer the question which Anuruddha has asked. So, Anuruddha, the thing is, suppose that there is a application page. So you are actually hiring a person. An application is giving you 5 fields like name, national identifier, your marital status, education qualifications, and previous company. So you have only these 5 placeholder to store information. Now you have a requirement that I also want additional field to capture uh, family information or emergency contact. So in that case, you will create a field which is a flex field and you will actually give the name of a field as an emergency contact. And once you create a field, that field will start appearing in the application page. Now application page will show you 5 seeded field and 1 field which you have created. That will help you to store the other details which system by default doesn't provide. So we'll see that into more detail. So the next topic which we are going to start is enterprise structure. We have a different objects in applications. So like we have enterprise, we have divisions, we have legal entity. So we'll see what are those different objects. And if we want to configure them, what are the different ways by which we can actually create those objects in the system. First of all is enterprise. So enterprise is actually your topmost organization. So suppose that if I take an example of L&T. So L&T can work into different fields. There is L&T insurance, there is L&T infotech, there is L&T finance, there is L&T direct mutual funds, and a lot of things are there. So they works in a different sectors. They can be L&T steel, but the topmost organization will be L&T, Larsen & Toubro. For each company, there is a topmost organization, which we generally call as an enterprise. So I was actually talking about enterprise. So enterprise is actually the topmost level of any company or organization. So whenever you create an enterprise, you actually enter the details like the name of enterprise, the code of enterprise, the start date. Then you will enter what is the primary industry for that organization. So all those details you enter while creating an enterprise. Now, the second level, after you are done with the creation of enterprise, you actually create a division. So division can be something which can be either driven by country or it can be driven by the different brands in which your organization work, or it can be driven by different businesses which an organization do. So suppose again I will take an example of L&T. So L&T works in a constructions, L&T works in a refinery, L&T works in a uh, IT services, L&T works in a mutual funds or insurance. So they can have a different divisions like L&T constructions, L&T finance, L&T infotech. So all those can be done. Or if a client want, you can also have a division depending upon country or depending upon anything which they are comfortable with. And Oracle SCM divisions is mainly used for reporting purpose. Actual transaction starts from legal entity. So till enterprise and till divisions, they are mainly used for creations and they are mainly used for reporting purpose. The actual employee transaction starts from a legal entity level. Third thing comes into a picture is business unit. So business unit is actually the different businesses in which a company is working on. So a business unit will lie under a legal entity. So maybe if I take an example of L&T finance. So L&T finance may work in a mutual fund, L&T finance may work in an insurance, L&T finance may work on some other stock market or stock shares. So they will be different business units for L&T. Now coming to the fourth point is this legal entity. So legal entity is actually a unit of enterprise which is actually registered in a particular country so that it can actually do some trades there. So it is actually the registered unit of an enterprise. So it is like an entity identified and it has been given rights and responsibility under the country law or a commercial law to do or to hire an employee or to do a transactions which is related to a taxation purpose. So legal entity has a right to own property. Legal entity has a right to trade. Legal entity has a they generally comply with the different labor laws in a country or a state, and they are the authorities which are actually responsible for your taxation purpose and all those tax related activities. So whenever you create a legal entity in system, a legal entity can either be a legal employer or it can be a payroll statutory unit. So legal employee is something in which we actually hire an employee. Suppose that, again, if I take an example of legal, this L&T, so there can be a legal entity, L&T Mumbai, which is actually registered under India, and it is also registered under your Mumbai jurisdiction. So it actually follows the rules and regulations of India as well as the Mumbai. So in that case, L&T Mumbai will be a legal entity. All the employees which works for L&T Mumbai will be hired under L&T Mumbai. And after that, the L&T Mumbai can also be a payroll statutory unit. So it is actually responsible for all the taxation purpose and all those activities related to payroll for those set of employees. So any questions on these four objects: enterprise, divisions, business unit, and legal entity? So this is something when we actually do a transactions, I will come back to this point and I can explain you again. That will be more clear on that time. Okay. Now, as we have mentioned that a legal entity which you create can be a legal employer. Legal employer is an organization which actually employs or which gives a job to a different person. So it can be used for your employer from a HR point of view. And legal entity can also be a payroll statutory unit. Payroll statutory unit is something which is actually the highest level in an organization which is mainly used for your taxation purpose. So you will register your company maybe under India and maybe under Mumbai laws. So this L&T Mumbai will can become your payroll statutory unit. And after that, suppose that if you want to create more legal entities in L&T Mumbai also, you have two legal entities like L&T Navi Mumbai, L&T Mumbai Office 1 or legal entity 1. So in that case, you can use a legal entity which is already a PSU to the other legal entity. It is not always required that a legal entity has to be a PSU. Some other legal entity which is a PSU can also be used to other legal entity. So just like you have a one PSU which is also a legal entity and a legal employer, you can have multiple legal entities attached to that single PSU. Now the other factors or the other term which comes as a tax reporting unit. So tax reporting unit is actually the organizations in your enterprise or the actually your way to group an employee together for the taxation purpose or some other purpose. Suppose that you have two offices. Now your company is registered under India and under Mumbai, but you have an offices under Bangalore and Hyderabad also. So you can have a TRU Hyderabad, TRU Bangalore. So one legal entity can have multiple TRUs, that is a tax reporting unit. Tax reporting unit is mainly used to group an employee together for a taxation purpose. Now, there is a disability organizations. So disability organizations are the external organization which can access your disabilities within your company workforce. Then after that, we have reporting establishment. Again, reporting establishment is like you can actually, the legal entity which you create, you can also create them as a reporting establishment. So whenever you have to do some reporting other than taxation, you can use that legal reporting establishment organization. Now, after that, we have a department, which is pretty much clear. A company can have HR department, a company can have IT department. And after that, the final one is legislative data group. So legislative data group will always be created depending upon your countries. Because whenever we work in Oracle SCM, there are a lot of things which are which are country specific. For example, the payroll of US can be differ from the payroll of UAE. The benefits module of US can differ from a benefit module of UAE. The fast formula for all the EBs guys, which you write in US country, and the fast formula for the same benefit calculations or enrollments for a Dubai can be different. So in order to do a partitioning, depending upon a country, or in order to partition your entire set of data, depending upon country, we use LDG, that is Legislative Data Group.